Hey, I'm Austin Rowland and this is my Lab 2 video demonstration. Hey, this is part D of my Lab 2 video demo. Here we have port 0 hooked up to the A0 on the decoder. Port 1 is hooked up to the clock signal on the flip-flops, and port 2 is hooked up to the clear bar on the flip-flops. And ports 6 and 5 are equivalent to S1 and S0 respectively. Here is the Lab 2 diagrams that I've drawn for this, including the state transition sequence that we are supposed to follow here. Now we are going to test this on the software, so clear bar must always be turned on for this sequence to work. And then, so we start at A, which has 6 and 5 at 0, 0, which then we turn the clock on, and now we see that it's gone to state B, which is S1, not S0. Then we turn the clock off and put in the proper input, which is B1, and then we turn the clock on again, and now we are back at A, which is S1 bar, S0 bar. Now we go to A with an input of 1, so when we turn this back on, that goes to A again, which has S1 bar, S0 bar. Then we turn the clock off, put an input of 0, turn the clock back on. Now we are at state B, which is S1 bar, S0. Turn the clock off, input of 0, turn the clock back on. Now we are at S1, S bar, S0 bar. Then we turn the clock off, input of 0, keeps us at C, which is S1, S0 bar, and then C with an input of 1, once the clock turns on, goes to A. Thanks for watching. Hey, this is part E of my Lab 2 video demo. So here we have pin 0 hooked up to A0 input on the decoder. Pin 1 is hooked up to the clock signals on the D flip-flops, and pin 2 is hooked up to the clear bar on those flip-flops. And pins 6 and 5 are equivalent to S1 and S0 respectively. Here are the state diagram and the truth table. Here are the K-maps to solve for those expressions that I used to implement in the circuit diagram down here. And here's the final state transition sequence that we're going to follow on the software now. So to start off, we turn clear bar to 1, and then we are at a starting state of A, since both inputs are 0. And then with an input of 0 for A0, we turn the clock on, turn the clock off, and then we are at state A again. Now we need an input of 1. We turn the clock on. We are now at state B, turn the clock off. We need an input of 1, so we leave that at a high. And then now we are at state D, turn the clock off. We need an input of 1 again. Turn the clock on. We are now at state C. For this one, we turn the clock off. Now the input goes to 0, and we turn it back on, and it goes to A. Turn the clock off, put the input at 1, turn the clock on, and we are at B. And then for the last part, we turn the clock off, leave the input at a high, and then we should be at state D, which we are. All right, thank you.